The Chicago Bears have made a trade for a pass rusher, and it's not, Judon. It's not Hassan Reddick. They, missed out on Judon because of Falcons. That was a better spot for Judon. He wanted to go there over the Bears. Contract stuff. A lot of things went into that decision. And, Ryan Poles, maintained flexibility, not going after a guy like Judon, not giving up a third-round pick for a 32-year-old pass rusher. And being able to not have to put money down and have a contract for Judon, saving money. $21 million in cap space right now. After this trade, though, with Darrell Taylor, you have 18 because he has a $3 million cap hit, and this is a guy that's been productive in Seattle. I've, been watching some Seattle's games over the past couple years, and this is a guy with the high motor, huge effort guy. Another guy that would fit in well with this defense because the defense, the hits principle, the culture right now is a bunch of guys that fly to the ball, that are hitting hard, getting after the quarterback, causing turnovers. He will fit in very well with that. 6'4", 265 pounds, and in 2022, he, was tied for leading the Seahawks in sacks with 9.5 sacks. The year before that, his rookie season, he suffered an injury his rookie season, and the year after that, 6.5 sacks. So 6.5 sacks, 9.5 sacks in 2022, and 5.5 sacks last year. A little dip in his production, but this is the guy last 2 seasons, 15 sacks, 21.5 total in those 3 seasons, 90 quarterback pressures, 34 QB hits in those 3 years. So very productive pass rusher. Not as good against the run, but he's really just a better version of Yannick Ngakoue at this point. And you give up a 6th-round pick for him in 2025. So really, if he doesn't pan out, it's no loss. Really, no loss at all. So this is a productive guy to add to this roster. 27 years old. I think right now you probably start him. Maybe you rotate him and Booker. Personally, what I would do if I was Eberflus in this, defensive staff. Personally, I would start Booker. He has all the traits to be a 3rd-down pass rusher, and him and Sweat, that'd be a good combination. And you have Taylor, fit in his role that he was in Seattle. He wasn't an every game starter. He was a rotation guy most of the time. When the pass rusher Nuosa got hurt, that's when he had to start a little more. But usually Mafe, defensive end from Minnesota, and Nuosa, those guys, they would start, and Taylor would, be a rotational guy, 3rd-down pass rusher, which would be great. That would be very ideal, having him at that, that role, and DeMarcus Walker, move him inside, have him play defensive tackle with Pickens getting hurt. You're kind of thin at the position. You were already thin at the position. And DeMarcus Walker in Tennessee, 7 sacks as a defensive tackle. So he's way more productive at the defensive tackle position. And you can still rotate him at defensive end too. And 3rd-down situations, have him and Dexter, Billings, sub him out. So Booker, Taylor now. You feel a lot better about this unit now, adding a productive, proven pass rusher. Better version of Yannick Ngakoue, so I think the ship has sailed on signing him. I expected a move to happen before week 1 because there's just no way. And then especially with the defensive tackle spot that we're in right now, with it being thin, I think there's a move coming soon for that too, whether it's, claiming guy on waivers or making a trade as well. I really like how this defensive line is looking, and I think Daniel Hardy, he's got to make this roster. You got to add him to the roster over Dom Robinson. I would be happy with, Jake Martin, whether he's on IR or whatever. Maybe if he's on IR because of his injury, that allows you to bump him there and add another guy to this defensive end, spot. Right now, I would like Booker, Sweat, of course, Taylor, Dom Robinson, probably going to have him, Daniel Hardy. Khalid Kareem just got cut today. So I think Dom Robinson and Daniel Hardy make this roster right now. You have 6 defensive ends, Sweat, Hardy, Dom Robinson, Booker, Taylor, and Jake Martin. So those 6 defensive ends I'd be cool with keeping those guys, defensive tackles. Let's go get Jonathan Allen. I said this in the last video. I've said this in a couple videos before, but Jonathan Allen would improve this unit so much. And personally, Dexter, Jonathan Allen, those 2 starting at defensive tackle. Dexter, Jonathan Allen, Booker, Sweat, and then Taylor as a rotational guy, DeMarcus Walker as your 5th best defensive lineman. That's where he thrives. And, Dom Robinson, Daniel Hardy. I think that's a defensive line that will thrive and be really fucking dangerous with the secondary we have as deep as it is. That defense, I think, could be the best defense in the NFL if we get Jonathan Allen. And they just traded Dotson. They're probably not going to be asking for too much from Allen. He wants out. He wants to win. Come to Chicago. Come play again with Montez Sweat. And Allen could play defensive end too. He's versatile. So that defensive line would move mountains. And Eric Washington, when he got hired, was like, we're going to build the best pass rush in the NFL. And I think that unit would be so fucking good. Your only concern then would be the offensive line. But yeah, Jonathan Allen, let's make him a Chicago Bear. Before week 1, next week with waiver claims, when you cut down the roster, I think probably we'll have an answer at defensive tackle, whether it's adding depth or claiming a guy, making a trade. Something will happen by next Tuesday, I think. But I would want him to get an extension done with, Keenan Allen. I would want him to stay with the Chicago Bears for maybe 2 or 3 more years because he's coming off his best season last year with the Chargers.